Marketing in the age of AI, the show for leaders who want real results, not more noise. Join Emmanuel Rose as he helps business builders turn AI from a confusing add-on into a practical advantage with clearer messaging, stronger trust, and smarter systems. If you felt a shift happening in real time, you're not imagining it. In the agentic pivot, Emmanuel calls it the move from experimenting with AI to building with it, so it supports your team, your brand, and your growth. Let's get into it.
94% of mid-market companies in the US are using generative AI right now, but only 2% have it running at scale. Sit with that gap for a second. Almost everyone started and almost nobody is finished. And MIT put a number on that cost. 95% of corporate AI pilots deliver zero measurable impact on the bottom line. Today, we look at and fix the stall. There's lots of reasons why these projects stall. And I had a client that had wanted to get the AI implementation going, and their ERP system, which was where everything lived for them, had no API in and out. And so we had to wait until the ERP company produced an API, and then we're able to start the process of proving the data and then actually using the data. So that's just one of the pitfalls. Welcome back to Marketing in the Age of AI. I'm Emmanuel Rose. Today is about the thing nobody wants to admit at the conference. Your AI projects are stuck. So are everyone else's. Here's what we cover: what pilot purgatory actually is and why it's hitting the mid-market hardest this quarter. The 3 companies showing how stalled deployment gets unstuck, and the numbers that tell you whether your AI is an asset or a line item you forgot to cancel, and a 7-step restart playbook you can start this week. Let's get into it. What is a stalled AI deployment and why now? Well, let's define it plainly. A stalled deployment is an AI project that works in the demo and dies on the way to production. The team runs a pilot, clean data, a small group, a controlled little sandbox. Everyone in the room is impressed that it never connects to the real systems. It never rolls out company-wide. It never shows up on the P&L. The field has a name for this. It's called pilot purgatory. So why are we talking about this right now in June of 2026? Because the bottleneck moved. A year ago, the question was, should we try AI? That question is settled. Mid-market companies already use generative AI. 83% have moved past early experimentation, but only 2% have operationalized it at scale. And that's from Kaufman Rawson's 2026 Mid-Market AI report. So the question changed. It's no longer should we, it's why won't this thing scale and why won't it pay us back? And the cost of being stuck is finally visible. Gartner predicts 60% of AI projects will be abandoned through 2026. That's because the organizations don't have AI-ready data. They also predict more than 40% of agentic AI projects will be canceled by the end of 2027, killed by runaway costs and unclear value. Here's the part that matters most. Across MIT, Gartner, Deloitte, and IBM, the diagnosis is the same. The failure is almost never the model. The model is fine. What stalls is the boring stuff underneath, the data plumbing, the workflow integration, the measurement, and worst of all, the ownership. Roughly 80% of the work to move a pilot into production is data engineering, integration, and measurement. Not picking a model, not writing a clever prompt. So let me reframe this for you, because the reframe is the whole episode. A stalled AI deployment is not a technology problem. It's an operations problem wearing a technology costume. Here are the key players. There are 3 plays that you need to understand to talk about this intelligently. The lesson is in the method, not just the logo. The first is the ServiceNow and Accenture Forward Deploy Engineering Program. They launched it in May of 2026, and the idea is simple, and it tells you everything about why deployments fail. Instead of handing a company a license and walking away, they put their own engineers inside their customer's environment to build the AI workflows with them. 300 pre-built agent skills and a control tower for governance and security. Listen to why they built it. Accenture's own research says only 32% of leaders report sustained company-wide AI impact, and they pin the cause on implementation, not the technology. Here's the quote from ServiceNow's John Azen. We're not simply handing over instructions. Our teams are in the customer's environments. That's the tell. The market leaders figured out the gap isn't the tool, it's the last mile of getting it into the actual business. The second play is Snowflake. This one is your blueprint. Snowflake built an internal go-to-market AI assistant. It started in February 2025 as a narrow little knowledge tool built by one data scientist. By mid-2025, they rolled it out to about 6,000 sales and marketing people. By the end of the year, it had answered more than 330,000 questions. Adoption hit 77% and over 90% among the core users. The return was 5 times the investment on productivity alone. How'd they do it when 95% of projects failed? They named 4 things. Quality first. The first impression decides whether anyone ever trusts it again. Narrow scope. Broad scope is what stalls projects. They answered a few questions extremely well before adding more. Change management, enablement, executive visibility, weekly adoption reports, not just technology. And they treated it as a living product with sprints and testing, not a one-time install. The third player isn't a brand, it's a layer, and it's the least glamorous one. Data readiness. In a recent discussion on mid-market AI, the example was Shearer Foods moving off a 20-plus year old legacy system using Boomi as the integration layer. So the AI actually had clean, connected data to work with. The line that stuck with me came from Suzanne McIver at RSM. It's really good. It's really about the data activation, the data governance, getting the whole house in order. Get the house in order. That's where stalled deployments live or die. The numbers that matter. 6 numbers every marketer needs in their pocket on this topic. Number 1, 95%. It's the share of corporate AI pilots that deliver zero measurable impact on the P&L. It's from MIT's NANDA initiative, their report called the Gen AI Divide. They interviewed 150 leaders, surveyed 350 employees, and analyzed 300 real deployments. So what? It means if your pilot is stuck, you are not the exception, you are the rule. The exception is the company that ships. Number 2, 2%. Only 2% of mid-market companies have operationalized AI at scale, even though 94% are using it. That distance between we're using AI and AI is paying us back is the widest gap in business right now. Your job is to close it for your shop because almost nobody else has. Number 3, 14%. In a survey of 650 enterprise tech leaders this spring, 78% had AI pilots running, but only 14% reached production scale. Financial services led at 21%. Healthcare trailed at 8%. So what? Starting is easy, but shipping is the game, and that is where most people lose it. Number 4, 67% versus 33%. MIT found that buying AI tools from specialized vendors succeeds about 67% of the time. Building it yourself internally succeeds about 1/3 as often. So what? Unless you have a real engineering bench, you are not going to outbuild a company whose only job is that one tool. Buy the tool, spend your energy on the rollout and the change management. Number 5, 90% versus 40%. Workers at more than 90% of companies are already using personal AI tools for work, but only 40% of companies have actually bought official subscriptions. That's the shadow AI economy. So what? Your people already voted with their behavior. The tools they secretly rely on are a free map of what actually works. Stop policing, start studying, and build some governance around it. Number 6, the one that should change your budget. More than half of all Gen AI spending goes to sales and marketing tools. But MIT found the biggest, most durable ROI sits in the back office, eliminating outsourcing, cutting agency costs, streamlining operations. Allianz reported that an 80% in processing time on simple claims through back office automation. The flashy stuff is where the money goes. The boring stuff is where the money comes out. And if you think this is only a mid-market problem, look up the food chain. IBM's CEO study found only 25% of AI initiatives delivered the ROI that was expected, and 56% of CEOs reported zero significant financial benefit. Morgan Stanley found only 21% of S&P 500 companies could even name a measurable AI benefit. Deloitte put a finer point on it this year. 70% of organizations are hoping to grow revenue from AI. Only 20% are. The gap between hope and proof is where most budgets are quietly burning. It's my hot take, and it cuts against the headline. AI is not failing. Your operations are. Your planning is failing, and your change management is failing. Everyone's quoting that 95% number like it's proof the hype is dead. Read the same MIT research, and you find that shadow AI, the tools your employees grabbed on their own, often delivers better ROI than the official company programs. Think about what that means. The technology works. It works so well, your people adopted it behind IT's back and got results. What's broken is the company's ability to integrate it, measure it, and own it. So here's my second hot take, and it will annoy a lot of vendors. Stop buying more AI. The fix for stalled deployment is almost never another model, another platform, another pilot. 80% of the work is plumbing, data integration, measurement, ownership. You cannot buy your way out of plumbing. If you spend this quarter buying instead of fixing, you'll end up with 6 pilots and still 0 results. And the spiciest take, kill your flashy customer-facing AI pilot. Run the boring back office bot instead. The demo that wows the board is usually the one that never pays. The invoice matching bot nobody posts about on LinkedIn is the only one that returns 5 times your money. I'm not guessing that's where the proven ROI is sitting right now. And here's the marketer's angle. If you're a B2B marketing agency owner or marketer or in-house leader, here's what changes for you specifically. 3 shifts. Shift number 1, marketing is part of the problem, so marketing has to be part of the fix. More than half of Gen AI budgets went to sales and marketing tools, and that's exactly where ROI has been hardest to prove. If your AI spend is all front of house demo magic and none of it touches a measurable workflow, you're funding the part of the engine that pays the least. So tie at least one AI project to a number a CFO respects. Hours saved, costs removed, cycle time cut. Shift 2, buy, don't build, and study your shadow AI. Vendor tools win about 67% of the time. Internal builds a third. Stop trying to build a custom platform, buy the specialized tool that already works. And look at what your team already uses on the side. That usage is free product research, and the tools people quietly depend on are the deployments most likely to survive in production. Shift 3, someone has to own it. Unclear ownership is one of the top reasons these projects die. The companies that bridge the gap all shared one thing. They stood up a dedicated owner and AI operations function, even if it started as one person part-time. Here's the part that matters. The winners didn't spend more money overall. They spent it differently. More on measurement, monitoring, and staffing, less on chasing the newest model. If you run an agency, this is your opening. Stop selling AI strategy decks. Start selling deployment rescue. Walk in, find the stalled points, fix the plumbing, name the owner, prove the number. That's billable. It's repeatable, and nobody's doing it well. The clients with 6 dead pilots will pay real money for one that finally works. And here's the practical application. Let's get tactical. Here's your AI restart playbook. 7 steps to get a stall deployment running and pointed at ROI. You can start today. Step 1, run a pilot autopsy. It'll take about 90 minutes. List every AI pilot and tool in the building. Next to each one, write its measurable impact on the P&L. Most boxes will be blank. That blank is your diagnosis. Mark the zombies for shutdown so you stop paying attention to dead projects. 2, pick one narrow workflow. Choose a single workflow that's high volume, low complexity, and measurable. Back office beats front office for your first win. Claims intake, invoice matching, support, ticket triage, first draft RFPs. Narrow scope is the move that unsticks projects. Step 3, buy, don't build. Find a specialized vendor that already solves the exact workflow. Remember the odds, 67% for buying, 33% for building. Unless you've got a real engineering team sitting idle, you are not the exception. Step number 4, one owner. Assign one person to own this deployment end to end, from evaluation through adoption. That's the seed of your AI operations function, even if it's part-time to start. No owner, no production. 5, fix the plumbing for that one use case only. Get the data clean and connected for this workflow. Just this one. Do not try to fix company-wide data governance first. Connect the 2 or 3 systems this use case actually touches. This is where 80% of the real work lives. So this is where your effort goes. Step 6, set one hard metric and capture the baseline. Pick the number before you launch. Hours saved, cost removed, cycle time, or revenue. Write down the before. A clean CFO-facing version is the marketing efficiency ratio. Total revenue divided by total AI spend. No baseline, no proof, and the project dies at budget time. And number 7, roll it out like a product launch. Phased, pilot, then beta, then general availability, then expand. Build the enablement materials. Get an executive to champion it. Send weekly adoption reports. That's exactly how Snowflake hits 77% adoption and 5 times ROI. Treat it as a living product, not a one-time install. Here's the decision rule to repeat back to yourself. If a deployment has no owner, no clean data for its one workflow, and no baseline metric, it is not ready to scale. Fix those 3 before you add a single new tool. That's the show. If you've got AI pilots sitting in purgatory right now, you have homework this weekend. Run the autopsy, pick one workflow, name one owner. That's how the stall ends. If you want help running that rescue, that's what we do at Strategic E-Marketing. Find me on LinkedIn and send me your questions for next week. The best one gets airtime and a free 30-minute strategy call. And if your deployments keep stalling on process and ownership, take a look at Strategic SOP. It's built to document and systematize the workflow so an AI project has something solid to stand on. Because most of these failures aren't about the model. They're about the operating procedure underneath it. I'm Emmanuel Rose, and this is Marketing in the Age of AI. I look forward to seeing you again real soon.
Thanks for listening to Marketing in the Age of AI. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. Your copy of Authentic Marketing in the Age of AI is available at Amazon.com or EmmanuelRose.com. You can also connect with Emmanuel on LinkedIn. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.